Good morning YouTube and welcome back again to the channel. Today is Wednesday, which means that we have today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, show day. So 5 days out now from my first show at the Southern BNBF. If it looks like I've just woken up, it's because I have. Well, for like the second or third time in the night is regular occurrence now, particularly this deep into the process. But I realised I haven't got any bacon medallions for breakfast this morning, so I need to pop out and get those. And because I'm fortunate enough to live near a supermarket, I can go out and kill two birds with one stone by one, picking up the bacon that I need, but also two, getting some steps in for the day. So we're just going to get up and be productive. As much as I would love to have stayed in bed a little bit this morning to do some client work with the laptop on and a coffee in hand, we can do that when we get back. But yeah, essentially for today's video, I'm going to run you through what my pull session is. So with Peak Week, training's only been limited to 3 sessions this week, which was push on the Monday, pull today, and then upper body sort of pump session on Friday. Today's pull session's got a couple of sets of leg extensions as well, just to get a bit of blood flow to the lower body. But essentially it's a bit more like a deloady session. So there's no RDLs whilst we're going to be training on pull, and it's almost like a set here and there has been reduced on a few exercises. So we're going to look forward to that later on. I've also then going to run through a bit more in detail about my posing and what I've been working on. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that my left hamstring seems to be something that is just sort of affecting my posing to a degree at the moment, in terms of just hindering my my physique. So if I can try and find the cue in terms of my setup to get my left hamstring engaged, then that's only going to help improve that posing a little bit more. So we're going to have a little bit of a work on that as well today, amongst the usual food that we eat during the day, and the other boxes that need ticking. And I say the usual food, it's not really, because we've got 450 grams of carbs going in today, so we're just going to increase those portions of cream of rice for later on. But yeah, catch me in Asda in hopefully in around 15 minutes time.
It's card only.
Meal 1, black coffee, electrolytes, and then what is 100 grams of egg whites, 2 bacon medallions, 37 grams of tomato, 45 grams of salad I think it is, with 39 grams of mushrooms, and then I've already tucked into the other half of the bagel thin, which has had 8 grams of jam on it, because I needed those increased carbs for today, and I fancied something a little bit sweet, so I thought why not add the jam to it. And you're probably wondering why this close out to the show I'm actually increasing my carbs and increasing my calories, but effectively the reason for that is to add a bit more fullness to the physique, increase those glycogen stores, and just bring a bit of life to the body ahead of the show. So that's the reason for that, which I'm not going to complain when food's actually up. And even more so, I had the message from Max this morning for basically the plan of action for today, and steps have gone from 10k down to 8k. And so the walk to and from Asda giving me already 4k or so. So half of those steps means I can put my feet up a little bit more later on, and that sofa's just got a little bit more comfortable. So really happy with that. Obviously got a couple of bits to do today, like I said earlier, in terms of the pull session, going through the posing. I've got a couple of bits on the food shop to do as well. So the rest of those steps will be done up easily throughout the day. But yeah, we're feeling good. I always like to get up and be productive, but it means I can have breakfast now before this gets too cold, sit the laptop on, have my brew, and do some client work before we go and hit the gym But yeah, generally just feeling pretty excited ahead of Sunday. Nerves not really there, which is weird because you think I would be when you think about the fact that you're going to be stood hairless, covered in fake tan, wearing a thong in front of strangers. But I think where I've not done anything like this before, I almost don't know what to be nervous about. Whereas if I compare it to something like jumping out of a plane, where I know what the fear of falling or the fear of heights entails for me, I know that I would be petrified of that because I've got that fear. But with something like this, all I can do is just be excited and just look forward to what the day is going to bring, and going through that process. So yeah. But I'm not going to waste any more time because I don't want breakfast going cold. So let me eat this.
Brilliant. Lorraine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, let's get it, let's go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, let's get it, let's go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, let's get it, let's go. Yeah, we in the zone now, in the zone. Money on the floor now, on the floor. Never seen a crew so fly, yeah, we taking over the town. Taking over. Watch them throw it back for a stack, make it bounce for a while. See the vibe go low. Got no time for being shy. With all this paper I can buy. Wanna see you moving now. I can do this all night. Yeah, it ain't even a try. Black truck pulling up to the back door. They already know what we came for. Got the whole section going crazy, that's a fact though. She a bad thing, saw on the main floor. She already know it, yeah she know it, yeah she know it, she a bad thing, and she ain't afraid to show it. Yeah she know it, yeah she know it, yeah she know it, yeah she know it. She gon' make me throw some money on it. Yeah, we in the zone now, in the zone. Money on the floor now, on the floor. Never seen a crew so fly, yeah, we taking over the town. Taking off, watch them throw it back for a stack, make it bounce for a while. See the vibe go low. Got no time for being shy. With all this paper I can buy. Wanna see you moving now. I can do this all night.
Full session done and dusted. Pretty nice with the fact that it's a bit of a deloady type session with the sets taken out of each exercise, and then we had a little bit of leg extension for pump work on the old quads as well. And then we did a little sort of spout of posing to try and obviously improve the hamstring, which I'm going to do a little bit of a detailed sort of setup when I get back home, just running through obviously the sort of issues that I've got with my left hamstring and it not sort of coming through as prominently as the right one. But yeah, generally happy with the physique, sort of post pull pump. We're in a good spot. Obviously went through a bit of a routine as well around posing. So for my 60-second routine, going through the poses that I think I'm probably the strongest in, and just trying to sort of have a smooth transition with those. So yeah, one more session to go this week, and that is Friday. So that's a post upper, that's an upper pump session, which will then take me into obviously 2 days before we go to Surrey for the show. We are now going to go and do a food shop. I've got my tried and trusted bag for life, and yeah, it is pretty sad that even on my day off from Aldi, I'm still going to be popping in there to do a food shop. But when you have the luxury of enjoying the same meals over and over again, you know exactly what it is that you need to get. So it should just be a case of being in, getting out, and then we're going to go home and have my next meal, which I've still got a few carbs to play with for it, but I want to try and pack it out because I've then got meals 4 and 5, I think it is, still to have before close of play today, and around 2,000 steps to hit, which we should hit just through one, walking around Aldi in the next few minutes, and then 2, sort of general day-to-day stuff. But yeah, lovely glorious day, sun is shining, let's get after it. One of the big major perks about working at Aldi is that I never have to really worry about my steps. And even though they've been dropped down to 8k today, I'm still 1,000 behind after being sat doing nothing practically all afternoon. I say, well, sat doing nothing. I've been at the laptop working. So we're just going to walk around the block. Yes, I've got the top off, but it's summer, right? And this is what it's all about. So if people are watching this going, oh, look at him with his top off. Well, yeah, when you're in good shape and you like how you look, you should have the confidence to walk with your top off. Plus, it's about 30 degrees, so we're going to rock with it. But yeah, I'm going to walk around the block for a few minutes just to round off the steps. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to sort of discuss, obviously, the situation with my posing and my left hamstring. So, majority of my poses, pretty happy with in terms of how they're looking. Obviously, they're not the most perfect, but for someone who's competing for the first time, they're never going to be. But in terms of prepping for Sunday, I'm pretty pleased, and as is my coach. So there's always a good sign. But the rear poses, so the rear lat spread and the rear double bicep, upper body is pretty good, pretty lean. All of the body fat on the upper body has basically been off for quite a few weeks now. The remaining, I guess, bit of fat loss has always been sort of the lower body, which is where my sort of legs have shaped up in recent weeks. But when it comes to posing and my stance, for whatever reason, I can't seem to get the left hamstring to engage. As you'll see within these pictures here from my posing earlier, there's obviously some clear separation and some detail within the right hamstring, but the left one is a little bit shy, doesn't want to come through. And through my posing lessons I've had with Matt, my posing coach, we've worked on various things in terms of hip position, in terms of foot position, in terms of pressure and tension of the foot into the ground, and we catch glimpses every now and again, but not in a position whereby I'd be able to stand on stage in a sort of comfortable fixed position to get that hamstring working. So the closest thing that I've got has been in terms of getting my sort of foot and toe position straighter than the traditional sort of lower body stance, where you sort of have like your knees out slightly, because that seems to be the best. And I think what we've sort of decided on is to not compromise any of the other part of the stance, and just accept for the fact that for the time being the left hamstring isn't going to be the most visual. So I know that's going to be something that's going to work against me. Let me just change my hands over. I know that's going to be something that's going to work against me when it comes to posing, but I'm hoping that on the day, I don't know, we catch a miracle, or the rest of the poses are on point that allow me to still be pretty competitive on the day. But yeah, it's just something that I was working on in the posing room earlier, and it's something I'm going to work on again in the days leading up to Sunday, just to see if I can get any more engagement with it. I know that a lot of it is my muscle connection at the moment. As that lady wants to take ages to turn around the corner. Is a lot of my muscle connection, and that's why I was using the mirrors in the posing room to see if I could catch a glimpse of the hamstring engaged in a certain position, so I would know, obviously, how my body should look and shape up when it is sort of when it is on, so to speak. But yeah, it's just been something that's been a little bit difficult, but it's something that you've got to work on, and it's just another hurdle to overcome. It's just another challenge that we're going to embrace and work on as part of I guess this bodybuilding journey, so to speak. But yeah, going into the remainder of this week, we've got a 9-hour shift at Aldi tomorrow, which is going to be obviously quite a challenging one, a physically exerting one, as they always are, but steps will obviously be boxed off pretty easy. And then on Friday we've got one final session, which is just a pump session, which will just be to get a bit of blood flow to certain areas of the body, and just sort of rest up and recuperate ahead of Sunday. But yeah, we're going to finish off the 8k steps. I've got my Professor Peppy I'm going to be slightly biased because I work at Aldi. Professor Peppy is pretty good for an Aldi owned brand. And then we've got the best meal for the end of the day, which is quite a rather large bowl of cream and rice, because I made my one earlier pretty smaller so I can have this to look forward to. Finer things in life. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. I've left my DJI downstairs, so I'm just recording the outro with the iPhone. But we have got the greatest bowl of cream of rice that you've ever seen. It's my greatest bowl anyway. 160 grams of cream of rice is in here. 160 grams. We are feasting for our final meal. Frozen cherries, frozen blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, banana. A little bit of whey protein powder for the paste. We're going to have this. Got my decaf coffee, which I find helps me to sort of settle down and go off to sleep. And we've got a little bit of a headache, so I might even have an earlier night than normal. But yeah, we have now got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days, and then Sunday, the show itself. If you have enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm not sure if I'm going to get another YouTube video out before the show on Sunday. If I do, obviously you'll see it. If not, the next video will be a behind the scenes of the show itself. Catch you on the next one.